got that CDX token, we the ones chosen. Every stake, every mute, while I stay golden. Codex club, AI not focused, it's an anthem. CEX got them frozen.
Good morning and good afternoon and welcome to Club Codex. It's me, Corval, here with Charles and Beavis, which I'll be introducing to you shortly. Thank you for joining us today. And I just want to say, if you want to survive in crypto, you got to make really good, smart decisions. And you've started your week off by making a great decision, because today we're going to be revealing 3 secrets to really maximize your success in the 2025 bull market. And I'm not blowing smoke here, fellas, so stick around to the end. But before we get to that, a couple things I want to talk about. Let's talk about the...
Breaking news, gotta drop the bomb. Hottest school since Marvel's prom.
All right, pretty smooth, right? Welcome to the show, Charles, Beavis. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Good, thank you.
I'm good. I just ate 2 gummy vitamins and I drank 1 sip of kombucha for my lunch.
Hell, dude. You had 2 gummy vitamins and 2 sips of kombucha?
Yeah.
You want me to call Bella Hadid, dude? You skinnier? What is going on?
I'm poverty maxing.
Well, that makes me
Codex is adopted worldwide. I'm not allowed to eat anything but gummy vitamins.
Now that's bullish, because now it's survival for Beavis. You heard that right, folks. If Codex does not succeed, Beavis will shrivel up and wither away. What about you, Charles?
I'm drinking. Thanks. It's warm in my place right now. I'm drinking electrolytes because I'm tired.
What the fuck is happening to this country, dude?
I'm in Canada.
All right. This country and our sister country here, we've got these industry titans drinking moldy tea and electrolytes. What does that even mean, dude? Is that Powerade, or did you just like put powdered electrolytes in some drinks?
It's like powdered. It's like, it's like vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, some other stuff, vitamin D. Yeah. Get with it.
Is true. Vitamin maxing. I'm just drinking good old fashioned H2O.
I'm storing for the winter. I'm not going to get any vitamin D. I'm not going to get any vitamins ever. There's no sunlight. I got to stock up. I got to stock up for hibernation.
That's
awesome. How it goes up here. Yeah.
What does this mean for Tim Schultz bags? I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly what it means. It tells you that these guys are feeling fearful. That's what I can say. It seems like they're feeling fearful. They're not confident in the direction the market's going. Is that accurate, Beavis? Charles is here trying to prepare for the winter. He's hibernating, getting ready to hibernate. Beavis is scrounging his few pennies together to drink mushroom tea. Is this an accurate assessment?
I mean, I think it is like very up in the air, but I think it's not like Q4 is just always brutal. It's like you need to hibernate. You need to prepare for a sick Q1. You need to get all your ducks in a row. And we do this every year. Every single year I make a post. Q4 is going to be chill. Things are going to ramp up into Q1. I'm smart for saying this, and every time it comes true. But the reality is there's a lot of technical selling in Q4 as people prepare their year-end reports. Budgets renew in Q1. It's like freaking clockwork, folks. So just, prepare your anuses. And that's why you need to eat only gummy vitamins in October, November, December.
So what's interesting is Binance is saying the sentiment is kind of ramping up for greed. Is this just there's
it's the election, I think. Speculation. I think speculation is ramping up more so than like fundamental technical catalysts, which is good. Like, generally going into elections, things get super hot. People are excited about Trump potentially winning and his bag pumping platform playing out. So yeah, I think it's not too unexpected, but unfortunately we're in the gutters, so we need to kind of play the more technical game here.
DeFi is still in the gutter. It's kind of what it seems like to me. It seems like everyone that's being greedy right now, they're like little AI Memecoin guys, which maybe we can talk on a little bit later, because we've got something to contribute to that conversation, I do believe. Is that not right, Charles?
Yeah. Was I supposed to say something specific here?
No, I just wanted to call on you, dude. I hadn't heard your
Oh,
voice
okay.
in about 2 minutes.
No, that's right. We have a lot to contribute to the AI space
To the AI meme
and the
coin.
meme coin space.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit more about the dinosaur of crypto at the moment, the Bitcoin chart. Over the weekend, it seemed like we were experiencing pure euphoria. People were going ballistic because they're calling for 70,000. I saw people saying we're going to hit like 80 billion trillion dollars. But then, you know, things might have got a little too bullish because I believe the ECB, the European Central Bank, said that Bitcoin could hit what, like $1 million a Bitcoin. And they have some
I think
things that they don't like about that. They claim it'll cause some serious societal issues,
Wow.
increased wealth disparity incredibly. And they're getting pretty, what would be a good word for it? Militant about it. I want to read a little paragraph here, and then I want to get your guys'
On our wealth disparity, not your wealth disparity.
yeah. I want to get a little excerpt here for you because this is pretty intense language. So the authors of this paper that were submitted to the ECB say that Bitcoin's impact should not be viewed as a merely speculative bubble, but as a mechanism that actively impoverishes non-holders and latecomers, undermining social cohesion and potentially threatening democracy. In this scenario, they advocate for policymakers and regulators to consider these distributional effects and to implement legislation that could curb Bitcoin's negative social impact. They also urge those who don't hold Bitcoin to understand that they need to step up and push for regulation that dismisses Bitcoin appreciation or to see Bitcoin disappear altogether. Dude, they're calling a fatwa on Bitcoin. Now,
Awesome.
how does that make you feel, Charles?
It's kind of funny because like I think they're calling for $10 million Bitcoin or something, and how bad that is. Like, it's funny that I haven't read their actual like report. I haven't read the articles either, so I might just have a really dumb take. But like my initial reaction was like they're supposed to, like, they're writing a bearish thing about Bitcoin, and they're like, everybody who's not a holder, like, you have to like you have to get regulation on Bitcoin, because if you don't hold it, it's going to go to 10 million and you're going to be poor. And so I don't know. It's just funny. It's like a weird way to go about it, because it's like, okay, this is going to go to the moon. Instead of buying some, you should help us shut this down. So
going to the moon is just code. $10 million Bitcoin is literally just code for fiat debasement. You know, and literally they're saying we're going to debase the shit out of this. And you guys need to make sure your homies aren't getting rich. I think the real solution is they should just launch Bitcoin 2. They should create, like, you know, another implementation of Cardano or something similar. I feel like that would be the real play for them.
Didn't you see Charles Hoskinson's presentation? Every world government is going to run on Cardano. Don't you know?
Of course.
Is that what he called for?
Yeah, no, that's what he said. He said it's definitely happening. Yeah.
That's what I say whenever one of our strategies doesn't pan out. I just say, I'm thinking in 10-year time horizons, guys.
That's crazy.
Just close your eyes. It'll all be great.
You know, I don't know anything about Cardano. Maybe that's true. Maybe we'll have sufficient backdoors and manipulation to make it appealing to the feds. But I don't know. I don't know anything about Cardano. I just know Charles Hoskinson. He's the guy that claimed to have jumped out of an airplane, right? As like a secret agent. He's like a former secret agent.
I don't think so.
I think there's a lot of lore. I mean, it's the same as like Sergey, you know, a lot of these kind of semi-unknown founders who jumped onto the scene with the dawn of Ethereum. And, you know, now everybody's like, oh, this guy's Satoshi, this guy's a Spetsnaz operative, glowy, whatever. But
the guy I'm thinking of, he was like a known liar. Like no one believed him. No one believed.
Oh, that's Craig Wright, right? That would be Craig Wright.
Okay, that might be it.
It might be Charles, but Craig Wright is like turbo, like you know. He's that guy, wink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean. But either way, very interesting here because Bitcoin kind of dipped. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it was in response to this, but the timing couldn't have been better in terms of like when these articles came out and the price of Bitcoin dipping, which, I mean, doesn't really make sense to me because it's like they're calling for $10 million Bitcoin. You should be loading up, right? If they're saying you're going to be poor forever unless you buy, that's probably the strongest argument you can make. Unless
I find with the markets, sometimes people buy and sometimes people sell, and very rarely is it in the same quantities. And thus, you will find that things go up and things go down.
And very
sometimes
rarely
in
is
random
it
intervals.
as a result of the ECB saying anything.
Yeah.
If you'll recall, in 2022, I think they marked the exact bottom when they said it was going to go to zero. They said it's over. This is the last gasp, and it went from 16K to 70K. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't know.
one of the cool things about crypto is that it seems fairly divorced at this point from any sort of like catalyst, quote unquote, like this. It's like literally just pure PvP trading experience. It's like just like metaverse fight to the death in the trenches at every level. It's like either you're the $1 billion prop firm fighting in Bitcoin, or you're the guy with $80 fighting on Pump Fund. It's really like the same top to bottom. It's just different people playing different games with different risk returns.
Interesting. So this might be one of our first tips here then, actually, is that this is noise. This article is actually just noise. It's not signal, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's interesting. And like, that's cool that people are saying that, but it has no impact probably whatsoever.
Yeah.
On
it's not a financial event. It's like another speculator. Like they're a speculator in the market saying this is our idea, as someone who doesn't really know a lot about Bitcoin, So it's like, I don't know. It's just something to scratch your chin at, and something for people to mention, in the next board meeting. This lady said this weird thing about Bitcoin. What do you guys think? And then like a bunch of 90-year-old, geriatric TradFi guys. It's just nothing. It's fluff. It's puff.
There you go, folks.
Meanwhile, BlackRock is still buying.
Yeah.
Corval, you should pull up that.
BlackRock
holdings.
People are.
So we can laugh at them.
People are buying into Bitcoin via the BlackRock ETF.
Yeah.
BlackRock, BlackRock, I'm sure speculates in some capacity on Bitcoin, but they speculate on it via, here's a MicroStrategy investment, here's an ETF that we're going to, take fees on.
Yeah.
Apparently they're speculating on SPX.
Yeah.
You simply must.
As per Arkham Intelligence.
This really pissed me off because I would have been a larger holder of SPX if I hadn't sold off as we were going up. I could have been dumping on them, dude. I could have flipped the script for once in my life, but what can I say? But yeah, to Charles' point though, I did see there has been some news about ETF inflows being the largest, I think, ever this month so far. Yeah. Up to like 1 to 2% of all Bitcoin is now being
wait until the new year. Wait until some of this enterprise and institutional policy adjusts in the face of the Bitcoin ETF. There are going to be there are people sitting at their board meeting saying, "Hey, we need to act fast here. This is like new paradigm, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." And there are going to be a lot of arguments to be made, like we need to take a risk-on position in Bitcoin at an institutional scale, and a lot of that policy is going to kick into effect starting January. So I think we see some really cool, crazy stuff, which is going to be really interesting. You don't often see huge changes to the balance sheet in quarter four. Maybe it's some people front running, like, oh, we need to act now. Quarter one is going to be crazy. But it is I would love to see an analysis like how much is retail speculation and how much is institutional. I guess by percent of volume, but that breakdown would be super duper interesting to me.
Charles, you got the assignment. Break down the institutional versus retail inflows.
Issue and manage a census of the world's population yourself. No breaks.
I'll do it in person.
Winter project for you. Yeah, so BlackRock seems bullish. Wall Street, I guess, seemed bullish on Bitcoin. Someone else
Or
is a little
Ethereum.
bit excited about crypto. Someone else is getting a little hyped about crypto. A little different type of crypto though. Pre-seed sale. The once president of the United States, Donald Trump. This has been something in the news as well. This World Liberty Financial. It's good to know that this is a pain that a lot of people are feeling. Even really famous guys are struggling to fill their pre-seed, right?
Yeah, that's so
To
sad.
upload their tokens. This has been up for like about 10 days or so. Or no, about like 2 weeks, and still minuscule amount of tokens sold.
Well, that's close to $15 million worth, but even so.
Well, I mean, out of the total they're going
Yeah,
for here.
I mean, like VC is just slashing valuations in light of the poor performance of L2 and infrastructure airdrops for the past 12 months. It's like frankly, retail with the dawn of meme coins doesn't want anything to do with your low float, high FTV crap. So it's like either if you want to launch at a high valuation, you need serious usership and serious buy-in, or I don't even know what the or is. You just launch at a lower val or hit the meme coin market, whatever. But yeah, this is kind of to be expected. I would have been so surprised if it just like sold out super fast.
Yeah, I mean that would be
whoever's
crazy.
advising him, like you have to don the dunce cap for the day. I apologize. I'm sure there were some colleagues, telling him what, where, when, why, but come on, guys, let's be a little more serious.
Yeah, a couple interesting wrinkles to this poor performance here that I want to point out, because I wasn't aware of this until I actually looked into it some more. Is this token is just a governance token. I don't even think it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
but you can't even market.
Dude, it's a commemorative. It's like a commemorative coin.
You also need a KYC to buy it if you're in America, or you get banned.
There is no alpha here. It's like
you have to be
it will be a slaughter fest. Like DeFi, experienced DeFi farmers, it's literally just going to be all the DeFi farmers slaughtering the retail buyers. So it's going to be very depressing to see. I think, again, advisors, let's maybe think about how we can reel it in, get a little more realistic, maybe structure some more interesting mechanics here. But it is what it is. It's like it's like a train wreck we could see from a mile away.
Yeah, it was. But just like a train wreck, it's hard to take your eyes off of it.
Yeah,
it does kind of make him a little bit more empathetic for someone who's a bit of a crypto native, though, because if you've launched a project and met with disappointment, you gotta know this feeling where right after you go get a job at McDonald's because you didn't raise
that was so funny. The McDonald's discourse 2 weeks until the election, American politics at its finest.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see. The memes reflect reality. Crypto doesn't pan out. You gotta get back in the kitchen, brother. Those fries are up.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, like what I really like about it, irregardless of outcome, is that it's going to give a lot of people their first introduction to DeFi conceptually, which I think is absolutely fabulous. Could have been in kind of a better package, but the thing is, and me and Charles talk about this sometimes, the DeFi tuition. It's like you need to get scammed a little bit. You need to get dumped on a little bit before you figure out what you're doing, because it is like hard to grok, like how to structure good payoffs and how these things work. And this is like just tuition being paid at scale for a commemorative Chuck E. Cheese Donald Trump token.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess how many times is he gonna dip in the same well, though? I mean, he sold NFTs like three I guess editions of these things.
He should launch a DEX with a single pool. He should launch a DEX with
the idea. That World Liberty thing is going to be a DEX.
Pool. Oh, really? No, it's going to be an Aave fork.
Oh, yeah, it's an Aave fork. My bad. I knew it was something very basic. Not basic. Not saying Aave is basic, but something that already exists.
It should be a DEX with like 3 or 4 pairs. That would be hot boys with super deep liquidity. That'd be so dope. But instead, we have freaking Aave fork.
We got to get you in the room with Baron, dude. Maybe then we can make some real deals happen here.
Yeah, one of these days.
But speaking of Aave, speaking of lending, let's do a little something like this. Little chapter alpha. Charles, you got something for us, big guy? What's going on with the chapters?
I was gonna say we should make Donald Trump a CDXUSD facilitator and just give him 1 trillion CDXUSD to pump into the United States economy. Let's go. All right. Chapter Alpha. Yeah, that'll be the next episode, Chapter Alpha. Okay, so Chapter Alpha, what I want to talk about is Ironclad, because Mode Season 3 has launched. And maybe if you want to pull up the article that I posted today on Twitter on the Ironclad account, I don't have it pulled up, sorry. But Mode Season 3 launched last week, and they introduced VE mode, which is vote escrowed mode. People stake their mode, and they'll vote on which protocols will get emissions. So typically, at the DEX level, people usually vote on pools to get emissions. It's just the same thing at the network level. Luckily for Ironclad, we have amassed a lot of mode via the OICL sort of mechanism. And we've been kind of waiting to try and pick our moment to, make the best use of this and get the best sort of return out of this treasury of mode. So Season 3 is a really, really good opportunity for that, because we can stake a bunch of mode and we can just perpetually direct incentives to ourselves, and by extension, cut ICL emissions by a lot. And what's really exciting is that the mode emissions are in, or the mode incentives, I should say, are in OP.
Yeah.
So really liquid, really blue chip asset.
It's going to be nutty.
All these protocols. It is going to be nutty.
It's like we kind of, the plan is always we're going to be levered beta come hell or high water. Now Ironclad, we're kind of, gaining ETH exposure and exposing ourselves to base a little bit. But at the end of the day, in the process of designing this levered beta product in Ironclad, we've just accumulated an insane amount of mode. And now with VE mode, it's literally like we don't need to emit incentives anymore to grow, essentially. Yeah. And if you think of like a proof of liquidity type ecosystem like Berachain, if you've been keeping up with Berachain's research and some of their documentation about proof of liquidity, it's quite similar. And frankly, like VE mode is going to be super liquid. It really has like leveled up my bullishness on the ecosystem. And I think with our kind of two-pronged mode, zero inflation, ICL strategy, and aerodrome flywheeling strategy, it's just going to be really, really hot, boys.
Yeah. Plus, we got over 30,000 OP from RPGF, from Optimism's retro funding. So that's another thing that kind of like, it happened. It takes a while for all the logistics to get worked out. They're streamed to protocols over a matter of, like 6 months or so. But that's another thing that we've got kind of waiting in the wing. And to touch on the airdrome strategy,
season is upon us.
Indeed. Yeah. So we're now listed on Aerodrome, and we're going to be bribing this week. So Aero missions are kicking off. It'll be Wednesday night Eastern, Thursday morning if you're, in Australia or whatever. But really excited to get this going. Because, it's not easy. It's not easy growing a grassroots like DeFi protocol in this market. So I feel like Ironclad's going to catch a huge break here.
It was really like, if you remember the mode hype, we built up so much momentum. And whenever there's like this big, sigh of liquidity, this big, build up and then exit, it's really, really hard to tighten things up, grab the reins and pull it back. And I think, you know, we're at that point where we can just kind of yank on them with Airdrome. And so this week we're going to do a max bribe based on our POL. And that max bribe will go up week over week, as we've seen. Obviously, our goal is, you know, we don't want to use too many ICL tokens in the bribing, and then we want to ramp really sustainably. So, yeah, and then this will culminate in, you know, a month or two in Ironclad's biggest announcement. We have like a really, really cool thing in the works. You can consider this the announcement of the announcement of the announcement. But we've been working toward an absolutely massive thing on base and potentially on mode as well. So yeah, look forward to that. This session's for the ICL heads. Lore, I think next week is going to have some sexy news.
I want to talk about the ICL heads a little bit. What is like the call to action here for them? Give them the tips, the tricks, give them the skinny on it, dude. What can they do to capitalize on these big wins here? What's the most?
The call to action, first thing is, if you're a mode staker, you should join us in voting for Ironclad, because if you're an Ironclad maxi and you hold mode and you stake mode, if you vote for Ironclad, that OP is going to come right back to you. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you like Arrow, if you're on base as well, and you like farming Arrow, then freaking bridge over or buy ICL on Airdrome, not financial advice, and farm the pool, because the APRs are going to be nutty. And typically there's some sort of like, you know, period of time where the pool launches and it takes a couple days for people to realize it. And you can soak up a ton of Arrow emissions in the first couple days or the first week. So those are the two kind of big calls to action. The other thing I wanted to mention, and maybe I can share my screen here.
Go for it, big dog.
All right, let me.
And I'll briefly mention Pepper in the Discord is talking about how you can maintain your time waiting for ICL staking if you go to base and LP. And the answer to that is, unfortunately, you can't. That is the opportunity cost. And feel blessed that there is an opportunity cost, as in many cases you don't have that same staking opportunity. So, yeah, you need to kind of choose between the short-term farming or more liquid farming, or the time-weighted staking. ICL staking is fully liquid, but if you didn't know, read the frickin' Reliquary white paper. We'll get more to that later. Your rewards go up over time in weight. So your positioning in the pool is not easy to dilute.
Yeah. So really quickly, since Mode Season 3, since the rewards are in OP, obviously OP is not interoperable, so OP doesn't live on Mode. So as you farm the OP, you claim it on Optimism, and this happens via Merkle. So I just wanted to highlight this kind of test sort of epoch. This is Epoch 0. Everybody got a little bit of OP to set up some campaigns. You can earn OP by lending and borrowing ETH on Ironclad right now. And there is an IUSD USDC pool. Let's see if I can find it on Kim. That is also live.
That is the hottest pool on Mode right now.
It honestly,
it's like,
dude,
so
look at this. TVL is a $250,000, and you're getting 300% in OP, and it's a stable pool. Like,
yeah, I would say like literally that's the alpha of the season. So, are we gonna keep incentives up on the IUSD USDC pool?
Yes.
Once the test epoch ends. Yeah. Okay.
That's totally. So this epoch will end in about 10 days. But this IUSD pool is going to keep receiving incentives. The lending and borrowing on ETH, some lending market users might get some OP here or there. We'll see how the market reacts. But we'd like to direct OP to ICL stakers, and also try to figure out how we can incentivize minting ICL against specific collaterals. And there may or may not be some new collaterals from some teams we're partnering up with who can co-incentivize those with us. The only reason they're not live now is because we have to just figure out some stuff with Merkle regarding tracking ICL staking and IUSD minting. But yeah, to answer your question, this pool is gonna stay hot. So yeah, get in there. It's not gonna end anytime soon.
Yeah, totally killer.
Beast.
Well, guys, you got your marching orders for really capitalizing on these latest developments. I hope you're half as excited as Charles and Beavis are. I'm about a quarter, and I'm getting
Not
there, dude.
possible.
I'm getting there.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, do we want to go right into our 3 tips and tricks to win the 2025 bull market? Do you want to do that?
Oh, dude, I don't know if
You
our
wanna take a little
listeners are
diversion?
prepared.
Okay, I guess we could do a little bit of diversion here. We had a pretty nice conversation with the enigmatic North about marketing. I kind of wanted him to be here for this, but I think we could touch on it a little bit because it's really of the moment. So, meme coin madness still kind of in full swing. Pump Fun is continuing to break records. I think they made $1 million a day this last week. They're teasing a token, they're teasing like a new interface. It's getting really heated over there. The furor is not dying down. The fervor, if you will. Hell, people are out there and they're launching. Oh, okay. So the modal isn't displaying here, but they're launching Corval tokens here. I had nothing to do with this. Okay, by the way, don't do this. I'm not affiliated with these. Don't buy these. Okay. But that's how desperate and crazy this meme thing has gone. Is it's out of control, dude.
We're really
Now-
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Are you
Yeah.
saying Corval is the bottom of the barrel, dude? That's despicable.
Well, look, I'm a
sorry.
couple rungs lower
I
than
didn't mean it.
freaking Taiki Maeda, bro. Okay, I'm not out of the barrel. So I kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on meme coins and marketing, how they interplay, because it's a meme coin has a kind of a reputation as being like a very community driven thing, right? As being like super decentralized. And I kind of want to challenge that idea here. There was the idea going around that people started to talk about cabals, right? Like you have a tightly knit like inner group, and they're kind of like the nucleus that's driving the energy to meme coins, right? They're the ones like that come up with the original joke. They put a lot of content out there consistently, and they're onboarding people in and trying to give them the assets to keep going.
Yeah.
Now, there is a point where this thing goes super critical, right? Where we see a meme token take off, but it doesn't happen for all of them. The only thing that seems to be consistent is that they just got to keep the energy going for a long enough time, right? It's like an endurance game.
Yeah.
Do you think there's really any kind of overlap with kind of what we're doing here in DeFi? Because it's not like it's not very similar. It's not a very similar. It's similar in that they're both crypto products, right? But the community involvement doesn't have the same. It's still important, but it's not as it's not the full lifeblood of the project.
DeFi, I think, is interesting because it's not retail focused, whereas meme coins are retail focused.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a lot about, really, if you are a whale and have the power to move these markets that are admittedly illiquid, meme coin markets are easy to move. Typically you're going to look for the people that are going to work extra hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can think about it as a conversion of like potential energy to kinetic energy. Like you have all these people doing all this work, building up all this mind share, but that mind share needs to convert to price action. And, to convert it to price action, we're in a society where wealth disparity is enormous. And you need someone to step in that's capable of saying, hey, me and my friends are going to send it because we've noticed that you're going to work hard for us and you're going to build up a lot of exit liquidity for us. And with DeFi, it's a lot less like knighting someone and more like, okay, I see that this particular position is yielding X amount. And if the token, let's say I dump it to hell and back and I accumulate at the lows and I just dominate the pool. I think how yield farmers think is, all right, if we're playing the game where we're accumulating this DeFi token, let's say we don't sell half, we keep a risk on bag, then what is my annualized APR if 6 months from now I pump it way up and deepen liquidity and exit with my liquidity? And really, playing the DeFi game, I think, is a lot more empowering because it's less about attention. And attention is obviously really important, and you can get attention with things like price action. There are a lot of DeFi-centered KOLs who, I've seen people farm and farm and farm and farm, and then pay the $100,000 out of pocket to, for example, pump a token or whatever, just so that they can create an LP, exit with the LP, withdraw the LP, and keep going on their merry way. And really, DeFi is a much more technical process. And frankly, to the right person, it's designed to de-risk a lot of what we see with meme coins. It's typically more liquid, more reflexive, and reflexivity is really important because meme coin attention is reflexive in that, the price goes up, we're going to get more attention. But DeFi is doubly so because not only is the price going up, but your yield is going up. And therefore, your product is improving its positioning in the market, and you get the attention on top of that. So you have kind of these multiple elements, these multiple levers that you can play with as same thing, like a patron, a whale. And I think one of the sad things is we're actually seeing less of, like, fewer people playing those games at scale. And for the small fish, it's like, I'm going to farm this and accumulate this and stake this and do whatever, because I know someone might eventually pick it up. In 2021, that was happening constantly. It's like we're seeing with meme coins now. But it's also like interest rates were a little higher. The cost of capital is much, much higher in crypto on chain. And so we see a lot of firms just kind of dumping and leaving. There's not the same kind of speculative portfolio building. We're going to create this yield portfolio. We're going to structure some kind of exit and potentially even do so sustainably, size up the protocol, inject them, into the world of, top tier 1, tier 2 protocols. And things have gotten a little stale and boring. And that's why people are looking a lot more toward meme coins, I think, because, sure, it's not decentralized. It's still like, hey, this is happening, but it's a lot less complicated. You don't need to trust that someone is willing to play these games because fighting against inflation means accumulating via yield and then cranking the unrealized yield way up. So what you are farming at $1 for 20% APR, if it goes to $10, boom, you've got 200% APR potentially with size over the period. Mm-hmm. So those are like how I've seen things play out. I think very similar dynamics.
So if we're thinking about kind of like the life trajectory of these kinds of projects, right? So for a meme coin, you can think of it as almost like in its first stage of life, when it's like an egg, a tadpole or whatever, right? It's just a small group of guys, people, operating almost as like a pseudo advertising agency where they're just pumping out content to capture mind share, right? But I guess like the beautiful thing about that is, especially in the modern age, that's extremely easy to do. There's plenty of tools. If you have a computer, you can make content. So that's the easy part. The difficult part, of course, is like picking the right kinds of content, the right meme. You see these memes that have like really offensive names, and while it's really appealing to certain groups, it's not going to get picked up by a huge, like wide group of people. But the real patrons here are like the whales, right? Because what a whale is looking at they're looking at it as, this is an advertising team, small. They've maintained energy for a long time. They produce consistent content, still positive sentiment, even if price is not crazy. What I can do is, if I pump the price, that might be all it needs to take off, right? And to get some momentum.
And the richness and the history of content there increases in value because it's like, hey, we've built this huge repository of, think of it like Codex. It's like, okay, we have all this tech, we have everything that we need to be successful. And now we're starting to have these conversations where it's like, hey, how do I get a piece? Oh, hey, how do I structure these deals where I as a large player can get in? And really, that's like what VC is. It's like you think about A16Z. It's like, they invest in founders. They want founders who've either gained a lot of popularity or exited before and have a lot of experience. And it's really like, if you're going to put money on the table, it's really like, if you step like 3 steps back, it's really all the same. It's just different products for people with different sizes of portfolios, the risk on speculative game. And I think really what it's taught us is like, the only way to lose is by following the book. Anytime you're like, I'm going to do my index fund, mutual fund, IRA, I'm going to let hedge funds charge me a 3% management fee and 30% performance fee, and I'm going to let them hit me over the head with their finance textbooks constantly. I think that's where you lose, because then like all you can be is exit liquidity, because everybody outperforming is eating into your bottom line. And that's like the whole goal of someone trading or someone taking on risks. And crypto is all about creating these really interesting, somewhat well-defined, easy to track risk returns, because you can just look on chain. You can't see who on back in the day, if you ever on stock twits, you can't see someone shilling some like awful like Russell stock, and then you can't just look on chain and see who everybody that's holding it doing this, doing that. Maybe if you have some really, really crazy edge. But with crypto, it's like, I see FUD where it's like, 80% of people are losing on pump fund. It's like, dude, check out stocks. It's like 95% of people are getting totally washed up.
Well, what I'd be curious about is like, of the winners, how many are consistent winners on meme tokens, right? So like a guy like the distinction I guess I want to make here between DeFi stuff and Memecoins is that Memecoins is inherently like a simpler product than any kind of DeFi product. So there's a lot less, in some ways, if you're a large whale, there's a lot less risks when you're engaging in Memecoins, because your win, right, is just, I pump up the price, people get excited, the price will just keep going up, I'm in the money and I can just get out. With a DeFi product, you're kind of, the success thing is more of like a long-term return, right? It's like the difference between simply arbing a market and like building a business. Like, am I investing in a business, or am I just buying 10,000 watermelons and bringing them across the state line to sell them for,
Yeah. Am I buying cigarettes in Philly and selling them in New York, or am I,
Yeah, exactly. So interesting thing to keep in mind. So if you keep playing with meme coins, or as you continue to engage in DeFi, kind of keep these things in mind, that different games, right? And that's I guess tip number 2. Understand the game you're playing here, right? Because we're still in many ways at the mercy of large capital, right?
Yeah. Always. In every aspect of life.
In every aspect of life. Yeah. Abuse was telling me these Marxist sympathies before the show. They're real.
Yeah, you should hear me talk about the invention of new slave classes. It's like, I see these 40 people working day and night to pump this meme coin. I will knight them as my retainers in this, in the trenches, or whatever the popular terminology is now. But it's really like the social dynamics are always interesting. It's like, how can I best serve capital? And it's, it's all of history. It's how can I best serve the people who can give me a better life, give my family a better life. And it goes all the way to the top. And everybody's kind of thinking, okay, like, how do I get made partner at the firm? How do I, get Murad to buy my shitcoin? How do I, get Electra Capital to dump $10 million in my protocol? It's a question we're all trying to answer, and the answer always changes, because it's literally like, if you're a longtime listener of Block Bytes, et cetera, it's the group chat economy. It's like, literally trends are created at the whim of whoever is the most popular or whoever holds the most social weight in, the richest guy in your network's group chat. And it's like whatever gets them excited there, it's like that will spill over into the real economy. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. All that matters is that capital is interested. And where capital is interested, we're going to see growth percolate. And it's really our jobs as, I would say, we're in the service class here. It's our jobs to create products that make sense. And that's where we've kind of gone with Codex, is we've seen as these markets have evolved toward, maximum advantage over TradFi, maximum PvP, maximum optimized for crypto native edge. There's a really distinct need for crypto native credit instruments, crypto native products that serve that need. And so there's my Codex shill.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of a nice segue here. I just want to say, if you find this kind of more abstract thinking about the market interesting, let us know. I'm interested in maybe putting a semi-regular sentiment, because this is something that we think about a lot at Codex, because it's important for understanding our position in the market, right? It's an ever-evolving thing. There's these evolving needs, and when there's some need to evolve with them, but then there's also somewhat of a demand for consistency.
Yeah.
But
and sometimes you need to be antagonistic toward them. It's like it's positioning.
That's right. It's all about positioning. Now, let's position ourselves over the last piece of Codex business here that I want to discuss. Not the last, but this is the 3 ways to win in the 2025 bull market here. Beebus, you've released some white papers onto the GitHub. I'm sure you guys all know what GitHub I'm talking about here. This is on your Twitter. I think we retweeted it from the Codex main account. More than 3. But we've got all these white papers here on our latest technical developments for the evolution of Codex. Let's talk a little bit about them and what they mean for our users going forward here. The 3 that I have here highlighted as probably the most interesting or impactful, feel free to challenge me on this, are Codex USD, Codex Lend, and Codex Stake Reliquary, which is an old classic.
Yeah, an old classic with updated technicals that make it a lot better. But yeah, I mean, I would say that we are with Codex creating products to serve a very important need in crypto right now, being on one side, cost of capital, which comes in 2 parts: onboarding costs being cost of retail capital, and yield being cost of institutional capital, or the capital of firms. And we solve that with Codex USD and Codex AI. Codex AI paper will probably take a little bit longer. And then, really one of the big other things we're solving for is like access to credit. And this is like related to cost of capital, but access to credit instruments that are DeFi native. So, if you are a crypto company and you want liquidity for your protocol or for your token, typically that involves handshake deals in the back room that are going to cost you between 25 and 40% APR. And so, if you're doing a deal like that, let's say you're worth $10 million as a protocol, and you want $10 million of liquidity for a year, that will cost you between 20% and 45% of your business, which is obviously, like, putting it in those terms, insane. And we, throughout our history, have optimized for capital efficiency. We've optimized for cost of capital. So that's why you see Reliquary, Lore, Aurelius really outperforming with minimal TVL. Because, we were like, hey, we need to make sure that we can deliver the absolute best experience, get the best returns with the lowest amount of capital, because there's this giant specter looming, with the 30, 40% APR. And the thing is as well, it's like, those are traditional agreements. So it's not like, hey, I am going to have this line of credit that I can work into my products. It's like, oh, hey, I'm going to pay out this guy in the background, maybe send them some liquidity or give them some of my equity or this, that, the other, whatever. And so what you can do with Codex USD is not only can we issue lines of credit in the form of different types of AMOs, which read the white paper if you want to know what that is, or I'll tell you later. But, essentially like, okay, here's this DeFi native credit instrument. I can say, hey, Codex, I want to build this product. I have done everything to pass your due diligence. Let's say we've reviewed it and we've seen, okay, they have a lot of audits. They have a lot of risk management tooling. They have everything we need to say, okay, we can issue them a line of credit for way cheaper than 20 to 45%. And we can give them a way to draw from it and pay it down on chain. And so what you have there is you now have an instrument where we can adapt to the needs of the protocol. Risks for us, because we're operating on the mathematical invariance defined in DeFi, being maybe XY equals K, or the various lending algorithms that power Aave, Compound, etc. We can trust those and trust that the loan is always going to be over collateralized. The loan is always, anytime our token enters circulation, it's going to be backed. And thus we have a credit instrument that we can create really insane DeFi protocols with. So the first thing that we're going to be launching is what we call the liquidity AMO, which is a way for us to launch effectively a meme coin. You can call it whatever you want, culture coin, social token, whatever. You can create a token with any amount of liquidity at no cost, because we can recoup costs in the market with volume and yield with CDX USD as people enter those positions. So we're working with the former Sunnet team to create a protocol called make.fun. You can find the Twitter at makefunbase. We're going to be having a town hall this Saturday. And literally, this is a protocol wherein anyone anyone in the world can create a token with any amount of liquidity instantly at no cost. So you can create a 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 billion dollar token with two-sided liquidity that people can buy into and sell out of anytime, anywhere. And, we're solving for a lot of things. We're solving for volatility. Now a developer can tune their volatility, which means they can tune their downside risk. We're solving for underwritability. So if you look at, for example, Codex Lend, if you read the Codex Lend paper and understand how we've built it, it is going to be the most advanced DeFi lending protocol, period, for years to come. If you like DeFi, you should freaking look at it. It's awesome. But now what we can do is these liquidity floors can influence lines of credit in Codex USD that are isolated, but not totally disconnected from the core liquidity. So for example, I create this MF token, which will represent the make fund. It's just going to be a meme coin. Fees are going to go to creditors of Sunna. Hopefully we can help make a lot of people whole that way. But you buy that token, or let's say we launch that token at a $5 million market cap. It's going to be paired with CDX USD, $10 million of liquidity out the gate. Now, as an underwriter, I can look at this token and say it's never going to have less liquidity than this. The invariants of the platform have defined this token as having a floor price and a floor market cap at $5 million FTV. Underwriting a line of credit is easy at that point. And so now you have tokens that can integrate better into DeFi, that are still like very social and very kind of forward and very like in the moment, being, I don't think meme coins are going anywhere. If you look at the metrics of success on Pump.Fun, meme coin traders are killing it. It's better than gambling. It's better than anything else. And you, as like a totally roasty, toasty, out of your mind, schizophrenic guy in Discord and Telegram, can have an edge over the firm, because these tokens are designed to operate with low liquidity. They're designed to prioritize hard work and motivation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In what we talked about earlier, the creation of these sorts of meme coin agencies, the social capital that collects around these tokens. And there we're at. We have this platform on Base, CDXUSD, if you go on Aerodrome, it's already secretly live. Risk of rug pulls would be totally zero. To answer Josenk's question, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, in Discord. But the case is literally that, liquidity is going to be held in escrow. Users will be able to trade these tokens, launch them at any liquidity. And of course, like, you can launch them at zero value, snipe it all, and then dump. Really, we're not taking away the core meme coin use case as it stands. But what we are adding, you can't really snipe and rug a token with $1 million of liquidity without a huge amount of capital. And so the opportunity cost for scammers is really high. I could go on and on about how cool it is and how it plugs into Codex Lend and how it plugs into the rest of our DeFi infrastructure. But frankly, it's been a long time coming. And if you're a fan of DeFi, try to read the papers, and we're going to boil them down into really more consumable content going forward.
Yeah. So in summary, this is kind of like a nice way to bridge kind of the meme coin energy into DeFi in a safe way, right? Like really kind of bridging these disparate markets together in a way that's beneficial for both, right? Once you can get some kind of safe underwriting for meme coins, now you've kind of elevated the game to a different level. Yeah. So this is my third way to win the 2025 bull market. First one, separate the signal from the noise. Number two, understand the game you're playing. 3, keep your eyes on Codex, baby. At the same time as we continue to work on our DEX, D3X, not like a decentralized exchange, our AI interface, we're going to be leveraging the technical tools we have right now to tap the market as it exists. So little tip for you guys, get familiar with the papers. And if they're too intimidating for you, just follow our Twitter.
Ask questions.
Ask questions in the Discord if you're not understanding. But just keep plugged in with us, and we'll continue to fill you in as things, because these are complex things. So it will take a little while. Don't get defeated. We've been working on it for a while. Right on. I'm excited, dude. I'm really excited for Make Fun because I think it's going to be a kind of a cool platform. I was a little hesitant at first, but the meme coin mania is just not ending, dude. People love them.
Yeah, and really, it's like we are creating volatile derivatives of CDXUSD. So, yeah, frankly, I don't care if we need to make 100,000 use cases to find product market fit. We're going to keep pushing the limits and show what composable on-chain credit is really capable of.
Right on. Now, the next thing I want to talk about before we move on to our community spotlight, our final segment, community spotlight, because this is a bit of Codex Alpha as well. I want to talk about the migration. Going to be ending in 8 days, like a week and a day. So if you have not migrated your Oath, your Grain, be sure to do so. Another easy win for you. Get access to that CDX token when it goes live. Just adding names to the wheel right now. Sorry if I seem a little distracted to get prepared for our spin.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy. I've turned into a listener. I've been enjoying the conversation. But I'll say that it is even crazier to me now that you can migrate these old forgotten tokens for access to everything that Beavis was just talking about and all the tech that we're building.
Oh yeah,
it kind of blows my mind that you can buy Grain right now and migrate it and get a CDX allocation. And it's been a while since we've kind of talked about Oath and Grain, I guess. And people have probably forgotten. So if you're a community member and you've been even half paying attention, this is migrate your shit. This is a crazy deal.
This is a boon and a reward for people that have stuck with us, through thick and thin. When the migration is over, it's over. We're not going to feel bad. There's no second chances. Codex is a brand new thing. And yeah, just please, everybody, make sure you migrate your oath and your grain. And don't complain to us. And we'll make sure we clip this and save it on our computers. Do not complain to us if you forget. And we have to be hard asses and say, sorry, we told you exactly what would happen. We put it in writing on the blog. So yeah, this is like, it is insane. But
yeah, window is closing, fellas. So get in there, get your migration done. Now, shifting gears a little bit here, continuing to focus on the community a little bit. I want to talk about Pepper Does Crypto as this excellent write-up. He's going to be our winner this week for our points distribution. And Tonto coming in second place with an excellent post. I've retweeted these from the Codex main account. If you haven't had a chance to look at them, give them a look, give them a gander. You might just learn something. These are some excellent community contributions. Thank you so much to Tonto, the Grand Tonto, and Pepper Does Crypto. And as a reminder, please be sure to join the Codex community to enjoy these exclusive benefits as you contribute, continue to spotlight, and award you guys points for your efforts. And if you're in the Discord, as so many of our viewers are right now, you've also earned yourself a place on the wheel, dude.
Whoa.
When's the first Beat Samson?
The first Beat Samson. Oh yeah, I do have that here. Now, the rules for the Beat Samson competition, they are in Discord. They are in the games contest. I don't think he set a date yet. We're still taking submissions. If you want to challenge Samson for a massive 25,000 points, here's what you need to know. You can challenge him in 5 games.
That could be literally worth like an insane amount of money.
Overwatch
And
2.
they've earned it. If you beat Samson in a video game,
Yeah.
you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Because that man is insane.
He's a competitor. I don't know his skills in all these games. I just know in a couple, and he's a beast, dude. So know what you're getting into.
He will beat your ass. No.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle. We're going to stream it. It's going to be excellent, friends. But here you can challenge him in one of 5 games: Age of Mythology Retold, Overwatch 2, StarCraft 2, Age of Empires 2 Remastered, or Mario Kart. So if you think you got the APMs to beat the Australian master, sign up through our Discord. In the games contests channel, there's a link to sign up.
And I'd like to shout out the people in the Club Codex stage right now on Discord. 30 people. And I always remember that one Twitter space we had with Synthetics, where they had like 500,000 Twitter followers and were like promoting the hell out of it, and it had 9 listeners. So dude, Codex is dope. Everybody listening is dope. Let's pump these numbers up every week. But freaking spin it, Corval.
You ready? You ready? We get 3 winners here. This time
I need to see Pepper do the freaking dissolving into thin air.
All right, our first winner here, Silver Chronos.
Whoa! Oh,
Ooh,
dude.
boy.
Okay, Silver
Let's
Chronos.
go.
Shout out. Sorry,
Let me
Luscious
copy that.
Pumpkin. LD. What does the D stand for? No.
Silver Chronos. All right, next up. Who's our second winner here? Oh,
Ooh. Okay, a classic. Wait, is that Crypto Peter the Bee?
The B.
Yeah, he's got a B. PFP.
He's a legend.
It might be a different crypto Peter.
And finally, don't tell me it's
RJK.
RJK. Has this guy won more than one at this point? Maybe we gotta ban him, dude. He's winning too much. We gotta ban him from the server. So congratulations to our wheel winners, Silver Chronos, Crypto Peter, and RJK. You're being added to the list to receive your points, Los Puntos.
Round of applause.
So yeah, if you are watching this on Twitter or YouTube, be sure to jump into the Discord, join the watch party for your chance to win. Now, Charles, Beavis, do you have any final words before I terminate this broadcast?
Okay. No.
Ironclad.
Thanks for watching.
Read the little article. get up to speed. Read the freaking white papers. Just scroll through them, look at them, read a few words, and see if you can formulate some questions. And I want to see more freaking posts on Twitter. There were only 2. We need at least 3 to make a top 3. So yeah, all the help is greatly appreciated, and we will do our best to make these points worth something. So thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you all for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, retweet, all that stuff. And we will see you in the Discord, on the Twitter, and all around. Adios, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Got that CDX token, we the ones chosen. Every state, every youth, while I stay golden. Codex Club, AI my focus, it's an anthem. CEX got them frozen.